Hey everyone! So today's video is the third and final fancy sketchbook session video. So the reason that this is going to be the final one is because after August is September, unfortunately, and that means school for me. It's my final year of university, hopefully, and yeah, I'm just gonna have to focus a lot and pause YouTube until winter break. So if you're new here, first of all, hello, welcome to my channel. And secondly, in my two previous fancy sketchbook videos, I explained my process for making these kind of illustrations in quite a lot of detail. I even did like a question and answer sort of video. And yeah, if you'd like to see those before watching the rest of this one, I'll include them in the iCard above. This video is going to be different because I'm going to be talking or like rambling about a bunch of different topics, but I won't be describing the process since I already did it twice and it would kind of be boring and repetitive to do it a third time, I feel. So believe it or not, boring and repetitive was about to be the main theme of this video, but thankfully I actually got a bunch of incredible like doodle requests in my community post that I put out there a couple of days ago. So for the previous two artworks like this one, I actually came up with the doodles on my own with the help of Pinterest and a lot of crying. But for this one, I knew I wouldn't be able to survive. Like, I knew I was just completely out of ideas, and I had no energy to go look for new ideas on Pinterest. And honestly, even if I did, I would have never been able to get so much variety and amazing ideas on my own. So thank you so much to everyone who left a comment on that community post. All of the ideas were just so creative and amazing, and I'm kind of disappointed I couldn't use every single one just because of like lack of space. So I did mention in that post that I would post your comments, well not post, but edit your comments onto the screen as I drew them, but I'm not showing the comments just yet. And that's because the sketch phase of this illustration was just extremely unorganized and messy. So basically I would add things, take them out, put them in a different spot, erase them completely. So I didn't want to give false hope by putting someone's comment when it didn't make the final cut. Also, it would be extremely hard to edit. So I left all the comments for the inking, well, not inking, but line art stage of this illustration. So during the line art, when I actually like finalize everything and line it all with colored pencils, that's when I put all the comments up on the screen that inspired each item. So if you'd like to skip ahead to that part and skip this sketch part, I'll put a timestamp on the screen. As I mentioned before though, it was really hard finishing this final one, like this final artwork in the series. I've actually never completed a series of paintings this big before. For example, last summer, I tried doing a series of Avatar: The Last Airbender artworks, and I didn't get past Katara. Like I did Aang, Katara, and nothing else. I just gave up. So I'm really happy that this summer I was able to stick to something, even though it got a little tiring and I felt like I was forcing myself to be consistent style-wise. And yeah, me and consistency do not mix. But I'm so happy I stuck with it, and I feel like the three paintings really like match up with each other. Now, there is room for improvement, I feel, and I promise I'm not being negative or hating my art here. I'm just giving myself some constructive criticism. I feel like if I were to do this again, I would plan all three artworks together, like at the same time, instead of doing them individually, because then I could draw more consistencies between them. And like the first artwork, for example, like the box, is much different in style compared to the sword and the coffee machine, because the smoke isn't really a big factor in it like it is for the other two. So the yellow smoke in the box illustration, it's not like, it doesn't flow throughout the entire thing. It just comes out of the top, which looks really cute and I like it, but it's different than the blue and red smoke. I still really like it though, so I don't know how I would have changed it if I planned this all out from the start. Honestly though, I'm happy. I'm happy with what I managed to make, and they still do kind of look consistent with each other. The style is similar, but I just wish I made the box more yellow because I went with like a primary color theme in case it's not super obvious. I made this one blue, I made the sword red, and I made the box yellow, except the box doesn't really stress the yellow that much. So that's my one main critique of this like series of paintings I made. Next time I do something like this, I'm definitely going to plan all three like from the start together and build from there. But yeah, overall, I had a really fun time this summer doing this series. I'm kind of sad it's coming to an end, but I'm also extremely happy it's over. For the rest of August, I'm going to be focusing on my smaller sketchbook and trying to finish it soon. Even if I can't finish it before school starts though, I think I'll still make a sketchbook tour video during fall semester since it doesn't require too much editing and it wouldn't take too much time for me to make. Anyways, this is when the line art starts and I'm showing all the doodle requests on the side there on that like little graphic I made. It's going to flip by really fast because I can't slow down the time lapse any more than this without it getting like really bad quality. So it's going to be fast, but feel free to pause and read the comments. Next time I do this sort of thing, I'm going to try highlighting the words in the comments that I used because some comments have multiple suggestions, which I really loved. Like sometimes I use the same comment twice. But because there's so many suggestions, it's probably a little bit hard to see exactly which one I used. So another thing I ended up having to do is some of the suggestions I had to like simplify them a little bit so they would read better. Since the doodles are so small, it would be like some things are just a little too specific, a little too like it would be hard to simplify them in a readable way, is what I'm trying to say. So for example, the light bulb, I tried to fit something inside it, but it ended up not really working. So instead I just drew 2 regular light bulbs. So I hope that's okay. Also, I got so many amazing animal requests. Like the majority of the requests I got were animals and food items that I had to like dig for object items just to like balance it out a little bit. But I really enjoyed reading all the animal requests. I discovered so many new things that I never drew before, not just animals, but things in general. But one of the main things I learned about is how awesome moths are. Like, I had no idea what I was missing out on. I definitely prefer them over butterflies, and I believe I'm going to paint a hyper-realistic or like semi-realistic moth in my sketchbook using gouache. Like the 3 moths that I made in this painting aren't enough to satisfy me. I have to do more. Anyways, I just like to say thank you all so much for the suggestions. I never felt so inspired before, and especially since this was like the last part of a project I've been working on for a while now, I really needed the extra boost and I really appreciate it. Anyway, so as you can see here, I started the painting process for this artwork and I'm using a different palette than the previous 2 times. So the previous 2 times I used the Kuretake watercolors. This time I use a smaller palette that I have. I rarely use this palette. I should definitely use it a lot more often. It's full of my professional grade watercolors that I've been collecting for like 2-3 years now. It took me a really long time to get all these colors because they are pretty expensive, but they work amazing. And I'll list all the specific colors that I have down in the description below. Most of them are Holbein watercolors, but some of them are Schmincke, some of them are like cheaper alternative brands like Magello, I think. But I love this palette a lot. I just don't use it enough, which is wrong. I should definitely use it more often. And I like it a lot because it's more compact and small, but still has really vibrant, good quality colors. So I love White Knight watercolors, and I also love Kuretake watercolors a lot. But I really wanted to make my own custom set with tubed watercolor paints. And I did notice a difference between tubed paints and watercolor pans, like the cakes, I think they're called. The tubed watercolors, at least most of the colors, re-wet so easily, and yeah, they're just really fun to use, and I enjoyed using it for this painting. I feel like the reds came out brighter and the blue was really nice. I still do love my Kuru Toga and White Night watercolors though. Like, I love all three of them. If I were to recommend one of them, I would definitely go with White Nights. The colors are absolutely amazing, and especially at the price they're sold at, it's honestly the best option in my opinion. So I feel it's kind of empty in like this area and this area. I don't want to fill in this corner because I like the fact that that corner is empty. It's like an S-shaped design, and I really like that. But it needs some filling out, and like just maybe a couple of details sticking out from under the mist. And also I need to make the mist have a dark blue layer. So yeah, after that I think I'm pretty much done. Anyway, so while I add these details, I wanted to talk about some really exciting news that I have that I'm finally able to share. So if you saw my stories on Instagram, you probably already know that I'm going to be opening an art shop this summer, or like what's left of this summer. I've been planning this for a really long time now, I think since May, but I was really unsure about it. I wasn't really confident in like my art, and at that point of time, I just felt none of my art was worthy to hang as prints. Like, I wouldn't hang my own art, so who would hang it? Like, that sort of thing. I know this sounds super negative, but I'm honestly not trying to be negative. Like, I mean this in a practical kind of way. Like, my sketchbook art just wouldn't function well as a print, but I still love it a lot, and I still really enjoy making sketchbook art. But I truly feel like this summer I focused a lot on improving like my composition and like color choices for artworks. And as horrified as I am to say this, I'm really happy with the artworks I managed to make. And yeah, I'm excited to sell these as prints. I'm going to be selling the coffee machine, the box, and the sword, as well as that first artwork I made of the hands. I'll be selling those 4 as prints hopefully, and I'm currently working on making a couple stickers out of the details and just random things. So yeah, that's the announcement. I'm going to be using Shopify to create my art store. The website is already set up. I didn't launch it, but it's set up. So I think in maybe a week or 2 weeks from the point where this video is going to be out, I'll be able to open shop and share the link here on YouTube and Instagram. So if you'd like more like frequent updates on the shop, I am posting quite a lot about it on my Instagram. But so far, the information I have on it is that there's going to be worldwide shipping, hopefully. I'm using a print-on-demand service, so I won't be packaging things like personally, unfortunately, like I wanted to. A company is basically gonna take care of all the packaging and shipping and printing for me, and that way I could focus on my schoolwork and still have my shop open. Anyways, at the risk of sounding extremely cheesy and making my parents cringe, I'd just like to say thank you all so much for the incredible support here on YouTube and Instagram. Honestly, it inspires me and motivates me so much to keep doing art, and it really means a lot to me. So honestly, if you don't think you'll be able to order any prints or stickers, please don't worry about it. Just watching my videos means the world to me and gives me so much support as an artist. With that being said, I can finally end my rambling at this point. Thank you all so much for watching this far, and I'll see you all in the next video, which will hopefully be out before September. Bye!